Hi everyone, it's me Lauren, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here then welcome. So today I am going to show you my Shirley Temple DVD collection. Shirley is quite possibly my favourite actress ever. I have loved every single movie of hers that I've seen, apart from Fort Apache. And I'm even wearing a Shirley Temple t-shirt. And she's just so adorable and so talented. I just can't get enough of her. So I'm going to show you my box sets first, and then I'm going to show you the rest. And yes, let's get to it. So the first box set I have is Shirley Temple The Collection. And I got this for my birthday years ago. So the first Shirley Temple movie I saw was The Little Princess, and I watched it on YouTube. And then I asked for her movies for my birthday, and I got this. So yes, there's 5 DVDs in here, and they are Stowaway. In this movie, her guardians are killed, and she ends up stowing away on a boat that's heading to America. She meets a man and a woman, and they are both utterly charmed by her, but the woman is engaged, and it's basically up to Shirley to get them together. See, in a nice way, that's what I love about Shirley's movies. The plot, again, in the nicest way, isn't always the main priority. The main thing about the movies was to see Shirley sing and dance, and I like them because no matter what, even if you haven't seen them, you know there's going to be a happy ending. So next on this is Heidi, which is my all-time favourite Shirley Temple movie. She plays an orphan who is sent to live with her grandfather, who's a hermit and lives in the mountains. She charms him, of course, and then her aunt returns to sell her to a rich family whose daughter needs a companion. It sounds quite dark, but honestly it's her best movie because it's one of the movies where she's actually allowed to act and not just sing and dance and be cute. She's actually allowed to act, and she's really good at it. So Captain January is another one of my favourites. Shirley plays a little girl called Star who lives in a lighthouse with her guardian, Captain January, and a mean truant officer starts this campaign to have Star sent away because she doesn't think January's fit to take care of her. It features one of my favourite numbers, At the Codfish Ball. Poor Little Rich Girl is about a poor little rich girl. She's very, very wealthy, but she's lonely because her father never has any time to spend with her. He agrees to send her to school, so at least she'll have other children to play with. Things happen and she ends up joining a song and dance team and performing on the radio. Then we have Our Little Girl, which is quite, I think it's the shortest movie, like just over an hour, 62 minutes. Shirley plays a little girl called Molly who lives a very, very happy life. Loving mother, loving father, which is rare for a Shirley film. She's usually an orphan. And her parents start growing apart. And Shirley, thinking she's not wanted, runs away. So my other box set is the Shirley Temple Collection, which is a 9-disc box set. And here we have, I love this. This is the second Shirley box set that I got. So we have Dimples, which is set in the 18th century, and Shirley plays, let's just read from the back. Let's make this a bit easier. Although he's kind and lovable, Professor Eustace Appleby is a pickpocket, and his talented granddaughter Dimples desperately wants him to go straight. But when Dimples meets a high society lady and her theatre-loving nephew, she just might find success on the legitimate stage. So yeah, her dancing in this is outstanding. And as she was a talented dancer, I think that's saying something. Then we have Susanna of the Mounties. She's the only survivor of an attack on a wagon train. She's rescued by the Mounties and proves to be a capable negotiator between the tribes and the Mounties. I think it's pretty good, not that I'm biased. And we have Just Around the Corner. A lot of Shirley fans didn't like this one, but I actually do, because her character is a bit closer to who she was in real life. You know, a tomboy who loved playing with Tommy guns and stuff like that. So she plays a rich girl, and her father loses his job, so they have to live in the basement of the hotel where they were living. And in order to help out, Shirley is trying to get this rich old man she thinks is Uncle Sam to invest in her father's new project. I don't know who Uncle Sam is. I hear Americans talk about Uncle Sam a lot, but I don't know who he is. And again we have Captain January, exactly the same as the other one, just in a different colour. So this one is Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm, again one of my favourites. So Rebecca is sent to live with her aunt when her stepfather, who she calls Uncle Harry, doesn't really want her around anymore. And the neighbour notices Rebecca's singing talent and he puts her on the stage, and the uncle comes back wanting some money, and it's just a really, really good film. Again, some great dance numbers. Next we have Baby Take a Bow. This was the second Shirley Temple film I ever saw, so it does hold a special place in my heart. When little Shirley Ellison's ex-con father is accused of stealing a pearl necklace, the youngster springs into action to solve the mystery through an hilarious game of hide and seek. Just look at her. Look at how cute she is. This film features the famous On the Counter I Love You dance number. Next we have one of Shirley's most famous movies ever, Bright Eyes. This is the film that of course features the On the Good Ship Lollipop song. So in this movie, Shirley and her widowed mother live with a rich family. The mother is a maid and Shirley obviously lives with her. She hangs out at the airport a lot because her dad used to be a pilot. She ends up being like in the middle of a custody battle between her godfather, the rich man who lives in the house, and this rich woman, because the people that she lives with are not very nice to her. And you cannot be mean to Shirley Temple. It is not physically possible. I don't know how these actors managed to do it. So next I have The Little Colonel. This is set during the Civil War and post-Civil War. In the post-Civil War, Elizabeth Lloyd marries a Yankee. In response, her stern Confederate father vows to never speak to her again. That is until a few years later when Elizabeth's adorable daughter charms the grumpy old man. And this film has the famous stair dance with Bill Robinson. And the last film I have in this box set is The Littlest Rebel. And it's kind of similar to The Little Colonel. Virgie Carey's happy southern plantation life is shattered when war breaks out, and her dear old dad must go fight while her mother falls ill. But nonetheless, the irrepressible Virgie manages to meet President Lincoln and tap dance her way into the heart of old Uncle Billy, which is Bill Robinson. This next one is called The Shirley Temple Collection, and it's the same. And there's two movies in this. The first one is The Little Princess, absolute classic. I'm sure you all know the story. She's a rich child sent to go to boarding school while her dad fights in the war. Then comes the news that her father's been killed and she's made to live as a servant in the attic. Excellent film. Again, one of those films that allows her to really show her acting range. This next one is... there's two on here. One of them is a movie called To the Last Man, which I haven't actually watched because It's not actually a Shirley Temple movie, it's a movie that happens to have a small clip of Shirley at the end. No, it's one of those little cameos she did before she became famous. And the last DVD on that is a collection of shorts. Most of these are from the Baby Burlesques, and some of them are from Frolics of Youth. And there's also Dora's Dunkin' Donuts, which are the little short films she did before she became a huge star. And the last box set I have is another one also called the Shirley Temple Collection. So this also has The Little Princess, exactly the same as the other one, and 2 DVDs of her short movies. So this one has War Babies, Kid in Africa, Dora's Dunkin' Donuts, Pardon My Pups, Shirley Temple Weds, which is news footage from when she got married to John Agar, and this one, Politics in Washington, Kid in Hollywood, Managed Money, and What to Do. So you can see the things on the back, pictures. So that's all my Shirley box sets. So let's move on to the rest. I have Little Miss Marker, which again is one of those movies where she's really allowed to act, and considering she's 6 here, she does an absolutely amazing job. Apparently her performance kept this film in cinemas for 3 weeks straight, which was really, really rare back in 1934. So in this movie, her character is left, her father places a bet on a horse and he leaves her as like collateral while he goes to get the money. But the horse loses and her father kills himself, and she's taken in by the bookies? You call them bookies? Let's call them bookies. And they're trying to find her a home, but they're a bad influence on her. I mean, nowadays it's not a big deal to hear a kid go next to that and scram. But in 1934 it would have been like quite a big deal. And they need to do something to turn her back into the sweet innocent girl she once was, so that she'll have a better chance of getting adopted. Really good film. So next I have Curly Top, and this is the movie that features the famous Animal Crackers in My Soup song. In this movie, Shirley, as is a standard for her movies, plays an orphan, and she and her older sister get adopted by this rich man. He doesn't want them to know he's adopted them, so they won't have to be grateful. It makes more sense when you watch the film. But yes, again, like I said, the plots are simple. You watch them to see Shirley, but it's still a really good film. I have Wee Willie Winkie, which is top 5 Shirley movies for me. It's absolutely brilliant. It's like a mini epic. When Priscilla Williams travels with her mother to northern India to stay with Priscilla's grandfather, she meets and befriends a group of soldiers and even a prisoner. Winning the love and affection of everyone around her, including her curmudgeonly grandfather, Shirley also plays an important role in easing a local rebellion. The plot sounds similar to all of her other movies, basically charming people, making people do right, but again, it's more serious, she's allowed to act. But yes, this is absolutely one of her best movies. And Shirley, in her autobiography, said she was really happy to earn the respect of John Ford, who was a top-tier director, you know? And to earn his praise, she felt so proud of herself, and she should have. Next, I have Little Miss Broadway. And I'll be honest, I didn't love this as much as I love her others. I don't know why. I think I preferred the song and dance routines more than the actual plots. In the movie, she plays an orphan who is adopted and lives in this hotel that all the local performers stay at when they're doing their gigs. And the mean rich old woman next door wants to close it down, and so Shirley takes it upon herself to see that the place stays open. But yeah, it's not that I don't like it, I do like it, and I've watched it several times since I got it. Just that I prefer the musical numbers to it. By the way, Jimmy Durante's in this. Was not expecting that. So next I have the Bluebird, and although this was like a box office flop and a lot of her fans don't like it, I actually love this one. I like it because it gave Shirley a chance to do something different. She plays a spoiled, selfish brat in this, and she loved playing this character because it was something different. I mean, the public didn't like it because it came out after The Wizard of Oz, and they didn't want to see Shirley being bratty and horrible. I mean, who would? Let's be real. So yeah, she plays this spoiled girl, Meetil, and she and her brother and a fairy called Light travel to the past, the future, the land of luxury, to try and find the Bluebird of happiness. Again, it's a cute little fantasy and it's one of my favourites. So next I have I'll Be Seeing You. I got this for Christmas, and while it's a good movie, I don't know if I'd call it a Shirley Temple movie because it happens to be a movie that has Shirley Temple in it. She has a supporting role. Not that there's anything wrong with that, you know, there are no small parts, only small actors, but again, it's not a Shirley Temple movie. It's about this woman, Ginger Rogers, coming home from prison, and she meets a war veteran suffering with PTSD, and they want to be together, but they don't know if they can because she's got a secret and he's obviously suffering himself. But yes, it is a good film. So I have The Bachelor and the Bobby Soxer, which Cary Grant. This is the first grown-up Shirley movie that I've seen, and it's one of those screwball comedies. Shirley has a crush on Cary Grant. I mean, who wouldn't? It's only natural. The Bachelor is Dick Nugent, a sophisticated and debonair artist. No wonder Bobby Soxer Susan Turner, Shirley Temple, developed such a crush on him. It doesn't matter to her that she's 17 and he's in his 40s. When Susan is found in his studio after hours, he's hauled before the judge, who happens to be Susan's older sister, Margaret. Although convinced that he's blameless, she devises a punishment. He has to take Susan out on dates until her infatuation fades, but how long will that take? It's quite funny. And if you've ever heard that little song, you remind me of the Babe. What Babe? Babe of the Power. What power? Power of Hoodoo. That's from this movie. They just replaced Babe with Man. That's from this movie. That's so cool. Okay. And the last one I have is the one I got most recently, and it's called That Hagen Girl. First of all, look at how beautiful she is. So in this movie, Shirley plays Mary Hagen, who may or may not be an illegitimate daughter of a man who left town shortly before she was born. And her whole life has been plagued with whispers and gossip and rumours, and when the man comes back, it just gets even worse. And I thought she was really good in this one. She really showed her acting chops. This is a drama. I think most of her grown-up films were kind of comedy, like this one. This is funny, and Shirley could do comedy, but she could also do drama, as this one shows. And I wish she'd done more films like this because I really, really enjoyed it. So that was all my Shirley Temple movies. There are some that I need to get. They're quite hard to find in England because they won't work on my DVD player. So I have to get them from overseas, which is why a lot of them have different languages on the front and on the back. But, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. So I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye!